Hello and welcome to the Announcers Tables podcast, where this week we will be previewing this Sunday's AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I'm once again joined by Scott Weaver.
Hello again.
How are you doing, Scott?
I'm excellent, thank you. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm excited for Revolution. It feels like a long time since we've had an AEW pay-per-view now.
Yeah, it does. It's like Takeover, where they're like really spaced apart, but it's not even been that long.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't feel like 5 minutes in between WWE pay-per-views, but the AEW ones, I mean, we haven't had one this year, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And there usually isn't 5 minutes between WWE pay-per-views because Fastlane's in like 2 weeks. So
yeah, oh god. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about.
Thankfully not.
We're here to talk about Revolution. What have you thought of the build towards Revolution so far, Scott? Because obviously you've been watching quite a lot of the AEW Dynamite shows.
So I have really liked it because it seemed to me like every segment pretty much on Dynamite recently has been building to a certain match.
Yeah.
And that's something that WWE doesn't really do. Like, there's a lot of wasted segments on Raw, especially because it's 3 hours. But everything on Dynamite has been building towards something. So you've had the women's tournament, you've had all John Moxley stuff and Kenny and the challenge for the exploding barbed wire death match, all that kind of stuff. You've had even Britt Baker with Reba getting injured, like that's built to a match eventually. So everything's meant something. So I think the build's been good. There's been things I like more than other things, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah. We'll kick off with that match that you just mentioned, the match announced for the pre-show, or the buy-in as it's known. Riho and Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker and potentially Rebel/Reba, but maybe not. You mentioned some speculation beforehand. What is it that you've seen?
So so Reba's meant to be injured from Nyla Rose attacking her. I can't really remember what happened, but time flies when you watch 2 shows every Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I did see that the speculation on Twitter is that Zelina Vega or Taya Trinidad, I don't know how to pronounce it, but is rumored to be making her debut perhaps as Britt Baker's partner if Reba can't compete. I also saw speculation that Reba's going to come out, fake the injury, say it's going to be a handicap match, and then she's going to cause a distraction or something, and then Britt Baker's going to win. But Zelina Vega is a possibility, I think.
Yeah. The only thing that puts that in doubt for me is it being on the pre-show. But then again, I think they've done stuff like that before and they're not adverse to it. So maybe there's a chance. It would certainly get some people in who were watching on free, like, oh, what else could happen? But I don't know. Something about it seems like it should happen on a main show, maybe even just on Dynamite. I don't know.
I guess it depends on how much they value Trinidad if she comes in. And it could be a way, because I know they like to get people in watching the buy-in.
Yeah.
So it could be a way to be like, look who we've got. Come and watch this match for 10 minutes. Like on Twitter, they could promote it loads and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It is something that probably should be on a main show or a Dynamite, but who knows?
Yeah. But the women's division in AEW has been getting a lot more praise than it usually does of recent, coming off the back of the women's tournament. And it seems like they're giving a lot more time to the women. I mean, we've got 2 matches on this card as opposed to the regular one. But we're making progress. That you look at the talent now, and it doesn't feel like they're scraping it together. It feels like there is legitimate stars who they are trying to get on the card that maybe didn't have a place anyway, but have found a way to get them in.
And I think that the tournaments really help that because it's built up a lot of people, I think. Especially on the Japanese side. I know that Maki Ito was getting a lot of praise.
Yes.
Obviously, we've got the winner of the tournament to talk about later, but even the runner-up, Nyla Rose, she's come across out of this tournament looking really strong. And her match with Mizunami on Dynamite yesterday, as we're recording this, and her match with Britt Baker in the semi-finals, they both blew it out of the water. They were really good matches. So I think that on Dynamite, the women only usually get one segment, which is a bit of a
Yeah.
disappointment. And I think that's one thing that, especially NXT, do quite well is they give women quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
And that's something that AEW I think should do a bit more. But like you say, there's 2 matches on Revolution, so it's a move. It's a move in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I think the issue was the roster was a lot weaker on AEW to start with, but it's slowly getting better and better. People have mentioned like them not having house shows to be able to get better, and that's such an important thing. But yeah, we're making progress in this year. We're still not there, but we're getting there. But who do you see coming out on top in this match?
So the very thing that I've written down is Britt Baker pins Riho via shenanigans. What those shenanigans are, I don't know. We've already been over the Zelina Vega or Reba faking the injury, but I think it's important to make Britt Baker look strong here because she is. I just see her as a bit like a step above everybody else. I think character-wise, definitely. Maybe not in the ring, but character-wise, she's one of the most interesting women that AEW have got.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So I think that she needs to win, and pinning a lovable babyface like Riho really pushes her over, I think.
Yeah, it feels like we're waiting to crown her. It feels like we're avoiding the inevitable for some reason. I don't know how she hasn't won the title yet. It's only a matter of time, of course, but my God, yeah, she's head and shoulders above everyone. I think Thunder Rosa is incredible as well. So it's 2 strong teams, and this could go either way, really. Obviously, with Riho just coming back. Yeah, it's an interesting one for a kickoff show.
Yeah, definitely. And Rio and Thunder Rosa is like a team of 2 people that you think definitely could be champion. I
Yeah.
know Rio already has, but Thunder Rosa definitely could as well.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
thought,
there's 3 potential champions here.
yeah, definitely. Which is a shame because Reba, like, I've not seen her wrestle much, to be honest. I remember when she was in TNA, she was like with Crazy Steve and all those guys. So in
Yeah,
their little carnival gimmick. So I've not really seen her wrestle much, so I don't really know what she's like in the ring. But 3 definite possible world champions, in my opinion.
yeah, she's a little bit past her prime, but she's doing some good character work, and that's just as important, if not more important.
It gives Britt Baker someone to bounce off as well, which
Exactly.
I think for a character like her, she needs.
Yeah. But heading on to the main show, we've got the Casino Tag Team Royale, which is to earn a team a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It's a bit like a tag team Royal Rumble affair. I'll go through the teams quickly as they're listed on Wikipedia. We have Bear Country. We have 2 different teams from the Dark Order in Alex Reynolds and John Silver, and Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. We have Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. We've got the Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Top Flight, Death Triangle, and Pac and Ray Phoenix. The Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., Matt and Mike Seidel, SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, The Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, The Chaos Project in Serpentico, and everyone's favourite, Dr. Luther, and a TBA.
Yeah.
Whew. Deep breath.
That's a lot longer list than I initially thought it was, because I put something on announcerstable.com the other day that listed literally half of those teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happened in the last 24 hours, but this was a surprise to me, especially with a TBA. But you actually said something to me before we came on air that, yeah, I think you've nailed it.
Yeah, so we have 14 teams in this match. 14. The TBA, I know, that's crazy. They're really going to have to space this out well. But I can see that TBA coming out last. And there's only one team I can see it being, and I think they're going to win. It's got to be the Good Brothers. They've been teasing the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks. It's only a matter of time. Impact Tag Champs versus AEW Tag Champs. Possibly belt for belt, I don't know. But yeah, that seems to be where the story's going.
Yeah, definitely. And it never came into my head because literally I didn't know there was a TBA until we were just talking about 5 minutes ago. So, but I think you've nailed it. It's definitely going to be the Good Brothers. And my initial prediction was going to be that Santana and Ortiz were going to win.
That's exactly who I would like to see win.
Yeah, I think it's who I'd like to see win. And the way I was thinking it was going to happen was the last two were going to be John Silver and Santana, because I think they're going to push John Silver to the moon because
Oh
he's
yeah,
amazing. And I could see Private Party getting involved, pulling John Silver out with this whole Matt Hardy hates the Dark Order shtick.
yeah,
But now there's a TBA and it's going to probably be the Good Brothers. Then yeah, definitely going to be them.
yeah. I mean, looking at other potential storylines here, we've got potentially the Private Party. Obviously, they feuded with the Good Brothers over an Impact and lost, and they could be back on top. I think they've been doing some really good work since they turned heel. Didn't see them as heels, but since they've turned, they've been doing good work. They work well with Matt Hardy since they've turned heel. Anyway, I didn't like the face stuff with Hardy, but it all seems to make sense now. Death Triangle. I think Pac and Phoenix are always booked strong. You always want to see Pac win. He's incredible. Although there's not too much story going into it. Either of the Dark Order representatives, I would love to see win the tag titles eventually, but there's so many teams in there that I want to see win the tag titles eventually.
It's such a strong division, and this just backs it up. Just looking at this list in front of me is mad.
Yeah. So if you had to pick a winner besides the Good Brothers, would it be Santana and Ortiz, or would it be someone else for your choice?
So I love me some Evil Uno.
Mm.
I do love me some Evil Uno. It probably would be Santana and Ortiz, but
Yeah.
after Dynamite this week, I just love Death Triangle.
Yeah.
And the music where it shouts whatever it shouts in Spanish, Summit de la Muerte. It's like, wow, it's like chills.
Yeah.
And when Dynamite ended and all the teams ran out, they were the only team that got the music.
Yeah.
So all the other teams were in the ring, and then they got the music and entered, and it was like, okay, why are they making these guys look good? I know that there are issues with Pac and being in Florida for long periods of time and all that kind of thing. So whether they push them because of that, I don't know. But I'd love to see a Pac and Ray Phoenix run with the top. Maybe not with the titles, but imagine the match with the Young Bucks.
Oh God, incredible stuff.
Yeah,
they definitely wouldn't win, but my God.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize until reading the Young Bucks book, they were really good friends with Pac. Like they met over in Dragon Gate, and he showed them around Japan. So he's a big reason that AEW exists, really.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I could only imagine he'd have incredible chemistry with them. Obviously, his matches with Kenny last year were insane. Yeah. But we move on.
It'd be a hell of a match.
Oh, it really would. It really would. Who'd have thought a Geordie and two Mexicans would get along so well? But we move on to our next.
You've never seen Goal.
Well, that's God. Oh,
Santiago Munez.
Ray Phoenix is the Santiago Munez of the AEW tag division.
He just needs his Roz and whoever the agent was called.
Oh God! And then we get into 3 where he's playing for Spurs somehow.
Was he at Spurs? I've never. Right, so I'll be honest.
The third one he signs for Spurs.
I've never seen the third one. I just know that it was about Gavin Harris.
It's bizarre. Yeah, it all goes to. It's all about the England squad, and then Santiago Munez occasionally shows up. He breaks his leg before the World Cup.
I was going to say, is that the one where he breaks his leg in in his garage doing keepy uppies or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
I don't know. I've tried to put it to the back of my mind. But we move on to our next tag team match. Miro and Kip Sabian face the best friends Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. Rest in peace, Trent.
Yeah, gone but not forgotten, and his mum.
Yeah, it's a shame. This has been a weird one. I'm ready for this to end, and I'm glad that this is going to be the end of it. There are 2 possibilities I see here. No, there's only one actually in reflection. I hope the best friends win and Miro turns on Kip Sabian. Okay. And he starts getting a real gimmick.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is why I've kind of lost a little bit of faith with Miro. Because I'll get onto my prediction now. I just thought Miro was going to just pin Chuck Taylor just to look strong.
It's not going to be Orange Cassidy.
No,
So yeah,
God no. Orange Cassidy's protected
there
a
are two
lot.
men in this match who are taking a pin. It's either Kip Sabian or Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. But I just see the only thing I could think of when I was trying to think of the winner was going to be Miro pinning Chuck Taylor just to put him over a little bit.
Or possibly in the Accolade.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I
the
didn't even
Game
think
Over.
I don't know what it. Yeah.
But yeah, most people are in this camp. Me and you, I know, we want better for Miro. We want him to be pushed to a main event talent. I know everyone can't be in the main event, but we were robbed of it in WWE. We just want to see him succeed.
But we don't want to see him pushed if his gimmick isn't there to be pushed.
We don't want him to be a gamer. I don't know why that's his gimmick.
Just
How do
Kip
you look at this?
Sabian's mate.
How do you look at this massive Bulgarian man and think Twitch streamer? That's what he'll be.
That's what he is in real life, isn't it? Like,
I know, but he shouldn't be.
he shouldn't
He's a
be.
great
No.
wrestler. Oh,
Yeah. And the issue is, I really like Kip Sabian.
yeah.
I think he's
He's
great.
a fourth wheel in this match.
I think he's really great, and he probably deserves a little bit better than being partnered with Miro as well, which is horrible to say, but
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Kip, he's young. How old is he? Oh no, he isn't young. He's 28. He's got time on the clock. Like he can deal with this sort of thing for now and build up. Like you can see for years to come, like people like him versus Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy, that sort of thing. Miro's 36.
Imagine him with a heel TNT championship run.
Yeah, I definitely can see it.
Yeah.
But something needs to change.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miro's 36. There isn't that long left.
Not for a main event push, which he
No.
probably deserves.
This needs to be the breaking point for him. This needs to be the thing that triggers a change. And I'm hoping it is, because they've got to see that this isn't working.
So the real sad thing about this match is I like all four guys.
Yep.
I love the best friends.
Yep.
I love the best friends when they were in PWG holding hands, and when Chuck won the PWG World Title, I popped so hard.
Yeah.
But this is probably the match on the card that I'm least looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because
if I was told, oh sorry, go ahead.
It's just the match that Phil has, like, while it has a lot riding on it out of kayfabe, in kayfabe, there's just not a lot riding on it.
And it's weird because Miro's been feuding with Chuck Taylor since he got there, basically. But if you showed me this in the middle of a Dynamite, I'd just go, yeah, that was acceptable and move on.
Yeah.
It's not a pay-per-view match because it just hasn't caught fire for whatever reason, despite all the men in the match looking amazing. I don't know.
The one thing that gave me like a shred of hope for actually caring about this match, which sounds really harsh, was Miro's promo on Dynamite this week, where he was saying that you're gonna see the evolution of Miro. Then he said something in it. I don't even know what it was. He just started shouting in Bulgarian, and it sounded like so aggressive. And that's like the side you want to see.
Maybe we're getting him back.
That's what I mean. It gave me a little bit of hope, and that's why I think that he's going to go over, and I think that poor Chuck's going to take the fall.
For me, if I was booking it, I'd have Kip lose just so Miro can turn on him, beat him in a feud quickly, and move on. Because there's so many dream matches for him.
Yeah,
but he's been stuck wrestling Chuck Taylor, who I love. Chuck Taylor didn't put him with Miro in my head when he arrived.
No. Absolutely not. When you've heard that Miro was coming to AEW, you thought of all the matches. It wasn't Chuck Taylor top of the list, and I love Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, your Darby Allins, your Jungle Boys, your Luchasauruses, your Lance Archers. That's what
Brian
you want to
Cage.
see. Brian Cage. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's just two big beefy boys slapping meat. That's what we want.
That is an FTW title match that needs to happen.
An FTW title match.
But we move on. Well, I'll stop slandering Miro because I do.
We do love him. Yeah, he's class. But
this comes from a place of love.
Yeah,
it's constructive criticism.
It's like an intervention, you know, when
exactly
an alcoholic in your family, you still love them, but you want them to get better.
We really do. We move on to the big money match. Speaking of alcoholics, Hangman Adam Page versus Matt Hardy.
I love that.
Oh God! Oh no! I just realised one half of that is funny, and the other half of it really isn't funny.
It's really not.
Oh no!
Oh,
I meant Hangman Page. I forgot about the other half of that. Anyway, this has been an interesting feud. I didn't care about this feud originally. The Private Party turned heel. I care about Matt Hardy all of a sudden. Hangman Page, I'll always care about. I think he's the future.
we know how much you love Hangman.
I love this man. And I'm excited to see a Matt Hardy match because Hangman Adam Page is in it.
I'll be honest. I don't care for this big money Matt thing much.
Right.
At least I didn't until this episode of Dynamite where Jack Evans interfered in Max Caster's match, and Hardy came out and paid him off. I like that. I think that's interesting, and that can get people on TV, like Jack Evans, like Angelico, who is incredible. Get them on TV. Be the taking bribes from Matt Hardy just to screw people over that Matt Hardy doesn't like. I really like that. Yeah.
Matt Hardy has been grinding hard on BTE to get the gimmick over, to get it going, and I think he's done some fantastic work. I think he's managed to revive something that was looking a bit dicey. Obviously, when he was like changing character every 2 minutes, I wasn't on board with that. I loved it in the Stadium Stampede, but other than that, it's not really worked. But I think we're seeing the best of Matt Hardy that we've seen in AEW so far, although that bar isn't massively high. Yeah, obviously we're going to see some shenanigans in this match from the likes of Private Party and possibly TH2. But the big money stipulation, the winner receives the loser's 2021 first quarter earnings. This could have some interesting storyline ramifications. So am I right in saying that we both think Hangman Adam Page is going to win this match?
Yeah, you are correct.
So I'm interested to see the big money Matt being broke. That's an interesting story.
No money Matt.
Exactly. And him being chased up by people like Private Party, where it's like, hey, where's my money? You owe me money this month.
Jack Evans, TH2 coming after him, trying to get the money. Yeah, I never thought of that. He could. They could have some good segments where he's trying to shill some pretty bad merch.
Exactly. This could go so many places. So I'm excited for this because putting something like this on the line, it means nothing, but it does so much for a story. Like, it doesn't affect Matt Hardy. He doesn't actually lose his 2021 quarterly earnings, I don't think.
You wouldn't have thought so unless this is a shoot fight. And it's
very bold move from Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy thinks, you know what, I'm going to shoot on Adam Page.
Just rolls him up. Where's my money?
Page comes on a horse with a lasso and a gun. He's just like, right, I'm taking any prisoners.
No holds barred, shoots him.
From what you just said, I think the only way they can go is with Adam Page winning now.
Yeah.
Because of, if they take it the direction you said with the no money Matt, I think that's gold.
Yeah, I think that's such a good storyline. Again, it develops Matt Hardy. It keeps this character rolling. It keeps him interesting. Because, as you said, Big Money Matt isn't that interesting, but when you see him getting something like this, it's good. What do you gain from Adam Page losing his money? He starts stealing whiskey instead. Like, it's not an interesting story.
He has nothing to do with money. That's the thing.
Exactly. He's not. You don't see him as a rich man. Like, he dresses well and he drinks, but like,
does he dress well? Have you seen his chaps?
I love it.
I'm sure you do.
You're just jealous.
I couldn't pull off his chaps. Let's be
God, no. I'd love to pull off his chaps.
That's a soundbite.
But we move on to the Face of Revolution ladder match to crown a number one contender for the TNT Championship. Obviously, Darby Allin not putting the belt on the line on Sunday. He's in a different match that we'll come to later. But we have Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Pentagon, or whatever variation of his name he's currently going by. Lance Archer. That's a mouth.
El Zero Miedo. There you go.
He's Pentagon. Lance Archer, Max Caster, and TBA.
Yeah.
Now, on Dynamite, we were teased with a Hall of Fame quality star joining AEW, and it seems as if that will be filling in the blank slot in this ladder match. Obviously, last year, I believe it was at Double or Nothing, we saw Brian Cage debut that way, winning a shot against John Moxley. We've seen a lot of debuts through these sorts of matches, from Casino Battle Royales or ladder matches, that sort of thing, and we wouldn't be surprised to see it again.
No, from looking at the card, it's like the only match where you could insert somebody.
Yeah.
So to think that, because Paul White said it, it's kind of like it has to be, really. It has to be whoever
Yeah.
they're going to introduce is going to be in the ladder match, because they're not going to be a tag team, so they're not going to be in the TBA slot for the tag team match. So there's only one other TBA slot.
So if we run through who it could be, because who doesn't love some good old speculation only to be let down?
It's what wrestling's built on.
So when I heard this, my worry was that it was going to be Paul White and he would insert himself into the match.
That's never crossed my mind.
I'm scared that will happen, but I don't think it will be. Obviously,
he could do the spot where he just walks in and grabs it down.
Yeah, he could. He could.
Yeah.
He's bigger than everyone else in this match. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say maybe Lance Archer, but no, probably not.
No, probably not, yeah.
But yeah, then you've obviously got the likes of CM Punk, because, of course, CM Punk. You've got rumours of Brock Lesnar, because he's not currently under contract, but I think he'd even push Tony's pockets at that point. Rumours of Cain Velasquez, no thank you, although he did wrestle Cody in AAA.
Much appreciated, Kane. Move on.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining Kofi's title reign. Who do you think this will be?
So, who do I think it'll be, or who do I want it to be?
I'd love to hear both.
So,
because I don't have a clue either way.
Who I want it to be is obviously CM Punk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because when I was growing up, I was the biggest CM Punk fan in the world. My first ever PlayStation Network name was CM Punk Fan 295 when I was like 10. I love him so much. It's not going to be CM Punk.
No.
Which is a shame. I think it's going to be Rob Van Dam.
Oh, okay.
Now, he's not under contract with Impact anymore.
No.
As far as I know, he's not got a contract anywhere else.
So there's a thing with WWE where he's doing a documentary and maybe a book, but he's not under contract.
I can just see it being he's arguably a Hall of Fame talent. If not, he's not even arguably. I think he's a Hall of Fame talent for sure.
Definitely.
He fits a ladder match.
He definitely does. He was in the Money in the Bank a couple of years ago.
He could work well with a lot of guys on AEW's roster.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see him winning it. I can kind of see him winning the ladder match.
I think whoever TBA is, 9 times out of 10 wins these matches in AEW.
That's exactly what I've written. My prediction is whoever the Hall of Fame talent is will be the final entrant and they will win. That's my prediction. So some names that I've heard, I'll just run through what I've got.
I'm worried that you'll say mine, but go ahead.
Do you want to go first?
No. I don't think you'll say it.
So CM Punk was obviously the one that everyone on Twitter's saying. There's that picture of him at an airport that somebody's like, "Oh, this is Jacksonville."
At some point.
Yeah.
CM Punk was at an airport once.
Yeah, he was. Kurt Angle.
Yes, that's a definite likely one.
Yeah. Christian.
Christian could happen, but I can't see it whilst Edge is in WWE.
And he's just been in the Royal Rumble, so he's obviously talking to WWE. So
I'm still holding out for that Big E versus Christian at Mania, but we'll see.
So Mick Foley. I
Mm,
as a general manager,
I'd
maybe.
feel really sad watching him try and climb a ladder.
This is what I think, that maybe they won't put, depending on who it is, maybe they won't put them into the ladder match.
Yeah.
Maybe. In which case, I want Pentagon to win the ladder match. That's my
Mhm.
side choice.
Yeah.
Another name's Mark Henry because he's said that he wants a match.
Oh dear God.
He's big friends with Paul White.
Yeah.
One that will make you happy.
Hmm.
Kota Ibushi apparently is New
Stop
Japan.
it.
Apparently
Don't make me dream.
his New Japan contract apparently came to an end at the end of February, but I think
He's
he's
the double champion.
I know, but the door's open, Dom. The door is open.
Oh, don't make me dream.
I have two more.
Hmm.
One of them could be a tag team in the TBA
Interesting.
category. I thought the Dudley Boys.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't want it to happen. I love
No.
the Dudley Boys, but I think there's a lot better tag teams that they should push, but
Is Bubba still under contract with Ring of Honor?
I don't know.
Nor
To be
do I.
completely honest, no idea. It's one for the
Who knows
Google.
what's going on with Ring of Honor?
And the other one was David Arquette.
Oh my God.
Hall of Fame.
Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Oh,
Because he should be.
you'd have thought they'd put him in one of the celebrity wings at some point.
And I don't know if you've heard, obviously, what he did with the money he made. He donated it to the families of Brian Pillman and Owen Hart.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all the money he made from WCW, he donated to them. And obviously, with Brian Pillman Jr. being on the show, that'd be quite nice. But
Yeah.
no. But no.
No.
I love
not-
David Arquette. No.
This is good though because it's getting people talking.
Oh God, yeah. And there's like literally, it doesn't seem like there's a leak. They're really
No.
good at hiding it when they want to.
No, they've left it till the last minute to announce it
Yeah.
as well, which is
Yeah.
perfect. I've just Googled as well. David Arquette is not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
For me, okay, so this is a little loose and this is a little iffy, but he said a Hall of Fame level talent. He didn't say that they had a Hall of Fame career yet.
Okay.
He said that they're a Hall of Fame level talent. So they have the talent to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Ethan Page.
Now you see, my mind went there, but my mind went to the Hall of Fame thing. So I thought, nah, it won't be him because he's not a Hall of Famer yet. But yeah, I get it. I completely get it.
Yeah.
He's on
I'd
the
love
list,
to see
sure.
Ethan Page. I'd love to see it be Ethan Page. He deserves something like this.
He posted on his Twitter the other day the coming soon video, which was
Oh.
great. If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll check that out straight after.
He's in an all white room and he's naked. I'll just say that.
I'm in. But yeah, I think we've rumored this one to death. Outside of the TBA, obviously you mentioned Penta. Definitely got to be one of the front runners in a match with Darby. Wow.
Face paint.
Yeah, exactly. Face paint everywhere.
It's just black and white face paint for days.
There's a worry that it'll be Cody.
Yeah, I mean,
I love Cody, but I don't want him to win.
I also kind of don't want Lance Archer to win. I know that sounds terrible.
Oh, I was going to say I wanted Lance Archer to win.
Really, because he's had his shot.
Yeah.
Penta's not had a shot at anything.
I don't want Lance Archer to win if he's not going to win the belt because the issue is he's bottled it too many times. He lost to Cody for the TNT title. He lost to Mox. You can't keep being the guy who keeps losing at the last minute.
So one thing that also worries me about this match is the only guy that they had on the commentary when Max Caster was against 10 of the Dark Order was Scorpio Sky. And on commentary, he was kind of... So in my head, he's a face. When I think Scorpio Sky, he's a face.
Oh, yeah.
On
Big
commentary, he was so unlikable.
Is this to your taste or because he was being heelish?
He sounded like he was being heelish. Everything... So he wasn't putting over anything that 10 or Max Caster were doing. He was saying that you put me in the ring with these guys and it'll be done in 10 seconds. When the camera cut to the commentary table, he was saying, "Look how good I look, JR," and he was like posing for the camera and doing this cheesy smile. It was very, very heelish to me.
That's weird.
I read a couple of things on Twitter that he kind of was. It wasn't just me that noticed it. So
That is.
it was a bit strange.
So he's not a heel. Like, look at him. He's a babyface to me, but
it was just
we'll
how he
see.
was acting. It's how he was acting was strange.
Yeah, because they were pushing him hard over the original lockdown.
Yeah.
It looked like he was going to win the TNT Championship at one point, but obviously he didn't.
Him being in this match is still a sign that they're pushing him as well.
Yeah. No, I love to see him in this match. Like, this is perfect kind of match for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked this match to death. So let's go and talk about something we have no right in talking about in two Joshis, Hikaru Shida versus Ryu Mizunami.
How dare you say I've got no right to watch this? I've seen 2 of their matches.
The belt's not going anywhere, is it?
No, absolutely not.
This tournament should have spawned the new champion for me. We should have seen a Britt Baker, a Thunder Rosa, come out on top and become the new champion. Shida's been champion for a while. I think she's done some good work. I think her matches with Nyla Rose were really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it's time for a change.
Their matches with Nyla Rose were good, which is why I thought that was the direction they were going to go with the tournament.
I was scared of that because we've seen it twice already.
Exactly. And that's why when Nyla beat Britt Baker and she beat Thunder Rosa, I was like, oh no.
I was devastated with both of those losses.
Yeah. I was like, no. Like, I like Nyla Rose. I think she's good.
Oh, yeah,
Her matches with Thunder Rosa, a match with Mizunami this week was good. A match with Britt Baker last week was really good. Like, might be the best women's match on Dynamite that I can remember for a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see her against Shida, so they needed, if they were going to put Nyla Rose in the final, they needed to have someone in the Japanese bracket build up. And has Mizunami done that? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they've done the right thing with Nyla Rose in the sense that, because obviously originally my heart sank. It was like, oh God, we're getting Rose versus Shida again.
Yeah.
But then actually, I suppose the writing should have been on the wall when a Japanese talent got flown over to wrestle, because obviously they're not going to fly her over for one match. I should have seen that coming, but I guess I just didn't. I don't know why. I just assumed someone from the American bracket was winning. But yeah.
I did. I thought the same as you, that they were going to build somebody up to be the champion, the next champion.
But I think if Rose being dominant throughout the tournament is a good sign for her. If Mizunami is going to stick around, great. But I just can't see her winning at this point.
No. And what would it do for the belt to have her win?
Yeah.
Nothing, in my opinion, because
it feels like a sideward step.
It's another Joshi woman being the champion. It's like, as fickle as this is going to sound, in an American audience, it's hard to get over. Which is why I thought they were going to build someone like Britt Baker to win, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm ready for a change at the top of the women's division. Someone like a Britt Baker. I mean, I'd love it to be Thunder Rosa because she's incredible. But it feels like we need a fresh face, because it feels like we're entering a new stage with the women's division, and we need a new leader of it. As much as Shida has done well, it feels like we need a new leader to kickstart a big change.
And I think, like you say, Thunder Rosa would have been perfect for that.
Yeah.
But then again, what do we know?
Well, exactly. At the end of the day, I trust Tony Khan because he's not given me much reason not to. So we'll see.
No, he's not really messed much up.
No, I suppose though one thing we can criticize him for is the women's division. So hey, we'll see.
But things have been going in the right direction, so you can't hope. The one thing I did write down for this match is maybe Nyla Rose interferes.
That would be disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like the only story kind of that I could see happening in this match. If not, I think that Shida's just going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. So we move on to our next match, which originally, up until the last 2-3 weeks, I thought was going to be a cinematic match.
Mm.
But after what's happened, Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin and Sting, this might be a real match now.
I'm fairly certain it's going to be a real match, to be honest.
So obviously it's a street fight.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Well, I'm glad that it is a street fight and that
Yes.
it's not just a normal tag match.
Yeah. You've got to protect Sting a little bit.
Yeah,
In fact,
definitely.
a lot a bit, not a little bit.
And Darby Allin in a street fight, just jumping off stuff with his skateboard or zip lining down and hitting Hurricane Ranas on Ricky Starks or whatever he's going to do.
Yeah.
Like, that is money.
Yeah.
And
So
they kind of threw in the cinematic stuff with the dragging of Darby behind the car.
Yeah.
So they kind of did a little bit of cinematic.
That's just what Darby does on the weekends.
That was just a home video.
Someone just stole that off his phone.
They hacked into his iCloud.
Yeah, I originally thought this match was going to be like the parking lot brawl that we saw between the Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz,
which was a great match.
Oh, fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
But now I just think it might be in-ring regular match. And I'm more fine with it than I was before. I'm not massively thrilled that Sting's wrestling, but he does big things for all three of these men.
Yeah, it'd be different.
Made Cage look like a monster.
It'd be different if he was in there with like a Paul White.
Oh God.
Yeah. If this match was a street fight between Sting and Paul White, I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
But because he's got Darby Allin, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks around him, and I presume that it's going to be Powerhouse Hobbs at ringside. They're going to have Hook there as well.
Oh, thank God Hook's going to be there.
I'm so happy Hook is there with his hoodie, his hooky. But there's going to be a lot of people around Sting to make this match look good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's three incredible wrestlers.
Even saying that, Sting on Dynamite this week hitting Scorpion Deathlocks and Stinger splashes.
Splash, yeah.
Yeah, it still pops me. Like, I watched TNA when I was a kid. It was great.
Yeah, and I mean, Darby and Sting have got to win this match. Like,
absolutely. And I think Ricky Starks is the only person that can take the pin.
Oh, and yet he is my favorite wrestler in the match.
Really?
Ricky Starks is a star.
Ricky Starks is quality, but I like Darby Allin a lot.
I mean, look, in 10 years' time, we'll be watching Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin for the world title.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, Starks is 27 now. Darby's 28. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Two incredible
triple threat.
Oh. There's so much good young talent.
There is.
It's incredible. But yeah, Starks has like often been compared to people like, I mean, obviously it's a big shoes to fill, but been compared to people like The Rock, and he's so captivating to watch.
Yeah, everything he does is like, you can't take your eyes off it because it's like, what's he going to do next?
Yeah, and I didn't realize until recently he's good friends with Sasha Banks and Bailey.
Really?
You know, when Sasha was on her like hiatus after losing the tag titles at WrestleMania, they trained together a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
I heard something that before he signed with AEW, that WWE were knocking on his door.
Yeah, so he was in NWA.
Yeah.
And then obviously that bubble burst somewhat, and he came over. But yeah, he definitely had offers on the table, and you can understand why.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, yeah, he'd do well in NXT, and he would not do well in the main roster.
No, because he is that little bit undersized. Maybe that's probably the only thing you can say.
Yeah.
Is that he's not. If he was Brian Cage's size, Vince McMahon would be paying him Brock Lesnar money right now.
Oh yeah. How old is Brian Cage? I've got him here, so he's 37.
37?
Yeah, I know.
He's older than Miro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a great wrestler. Great wrestlers all around.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't describe myself as being excited for this match. It's more as I'm intrigued.
Interested to see what they do.
Yeah, but for Sting, there's only one match I really want to see him have, and that's with Cody, just because it's Cody's dream.
Is it?
And
Is Cody's dream match?
Cody's favorite wrestler growing up is not Dusty Rhodes; it's Sting. He's
Is
always
it?
said that his favorite wrestler was Sting. Yeah,
Ah, maybe that's
so
why he
that's why.
bleached his hair.
Yeah, and that's why he was in the ring when Sting debuted, because
Oh,
it's for him to make himself mark out. Like he'd probably put Sting over if he'd probably be willing to, but he probably shouldn't.
I think as long as what Sting does in AEW leads to him passing the torch to Darby Allin, I don't really mind what he does.
Yeah.
It's
So I
just the comparisons were drawn with him and Darby from as soon as he came into the company.
yeah.
So it's like
Oh yeah.
just pass him the torch and let him be amazing.
Yeah. So I wasn't watching when Sting was in WWE. How were so obviously his match with Rollins put him on the shelf up until now.
Yeah.
Uh, how was that run? I know obviously the Triple H match didn't go down too well because of what happened, but
So his debut at Survivor Series when he helped Ziggler beat the Authority, that got a massive pop and
yeah,
I popped when I saw it because I didn't think that he'd ever joined WWE.
yeah.
Um,
On reflection, he probably wishes he didn't.
but on reflection, yeah, probably. But the pop that he got probably at the time made him think, "Wow, like people wanted to see me here."
Oh yeah,
And it was when he interfered in that match and dragged Dolph on top of Seth Rollins.
yeah.
Really good, really really good.
Mm.
Then obviously you had the feud with Triple H and the Mania
Yeah.
match.
And at the NWO helping him for literally no reason.
Yeah, because WCW apparently.
They've won the war again.
Yeah,
For
that
20 years.
the momentum with Sting really died when Triple H won that match.
Yeah.
As soon
Why
as
would
he
it not
hit,
be
as soon
Undertaker?
as he hit him with the sledgehammer,
Mm.
I was like, okay, this is going to be a 2. I was like, right, this is fine. This is going to make Sting look strong. He'll kick out of the sledgehammer to the head. That's fine.
Mm.
Which, just a side note, if you watch that match back, the camera angle they use, you can see Triple H is like cupped his hand around the end of the sledgehammer. It looked.
Oh yeah.
It's such a pet peeve when Triple H does that. And I know he's not going to clock people in the head with a sledgehammer unprotected, but at
Mm.
least get a better camera angle of it. Anyway,
So, sorry to go off track with that, but I just wanted to follow it up. There was one where WrestleMania, I think it's like 7 or 17, when he wrestles Taker.
yeah,
He has a gimmick sledgehammer, so it's like it's on wood, but then there's a plastic hammer with it, and he
right,
hits him for real. Like he hits
yeah.
him with it, and it busts through, and the wood stabs Taker in the head and
Oh
busts him
god.
open. Um, so the only time that he did it for real, they botched it. So
Okay, maybe don't listen to me, Triple H. Maybe keep protecting people, even if you are gonna not put them over.
yeah,
But Sting's momentum in WWE is ruined when they did that,
Hmm.
in my opinion. So it was a mixed run, we'll put it that way.
yeah. But from one former WWE roster member to another, Chris Jericho with MJF faces the Young Bucks in what feels like a co-main event
Oh yeah.
for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Again, another match that doesn't feel hard to predict, but this one I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's not a match where you think, "Oh, who's gonna win?" Because it's kind of obvious who's gonna win, but you still want to watch it.
Yeah.
And the build to this match, oh,
Mm.
really
So,
good.
what did you think of the promos this week on Dynamite?
Love them. I think it's the best Young Bucks promo that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
It felt real to them. And I know it's like a meme. It's like, oh, it's still real to me, David. But it felt like this wasn't a match. They felt like they hated Chris Jericho and MJF for what
Yeah.
they did to their dad.
Mm.
And when they were talking about how without their dad building them a backyard ring, and giving them that DIY spirit, that AEW wouldn't even exist. And I loved the line to MJF saying that if AEW didn't exist, you'd still be living at your parents'. And obviously the line to Chris Jericho as well, saying about he'd be curtain jerking at the Performance Center, was just
Gold.
top quality.
Yeah.
So this is the match that I think's been built probably the best in recent weeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just think because it originally came out of nowhere, they've had to push hard to build it. The only criticism I ever see for the Young Bucks, and I personally don't feel this, although I'm not able to watch Dynamite every week in depth. Some people really don't like them as faces. They feel like they don't feel like natural faces. I feel like Jericho and MJF are bringing out the face side of them better.
I think that's because they're such good heels.
Yeah.
They're such good heels, and they're together. Like this press conference the past week was so good. When one of the hosts of JR's podcast came on, I can't remember his name.
Is it Conrad?
Conrad, that's it. As soon as he came on, and MJF just went, "What do you want, turkey tits?" I'll just kill me.
Yeah,
they're so good as heels that you want them to lose. That even if the Young Bucks aren't as good faces, you still want them to win.
Yeah,
which is what you need from a face team. They are better natural heels for sure, but I don't mind this face Young Bucks at the minute.
Yeah. Do you think there is a slim chance we see a title change?
It depends. It depends who wins the Casino Tag Team Royale.
Yeah.
I think if Santana and Ortiz win it, then I think maybe if Santana and Ortiz win it, to tease the Inner Circle beef and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if the Good Brothers win it, which we're predicting, then I think the Young Bucks are retaining 10 times out of 10.
And if there's neither of them, then we're thrown for an absolute loop.
If it's neither of them, then who knows? But if it's neither of them, then I still think the Young Bucks will win.
Yeah. It's just obviously you think, oh, the Young Bucks are going to win, but Jericho and MJF are big enough stars to be able to get this off.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'd hold it for long. Because I want to see us heading towards fractures between Jericho and MJF.
It's definitely going to come because it's two massive egos, isn't it?
Yeah. And I want MJF to eventually retire Chris Jericho.
Oh.
Yeah. Just take his place. I think that's where we're heading long term.
So Darby Allin's going to replace Sting and MJF's going to replace Chris Jericho.
The classic feud.
I just think I want to see MJF with a title. I want to see what he'd do with a belt.
Yeah. He's got a diamond ring.
Yeah, but I want to see what he'd do with a belt.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a beautiful looking belt for him to have. So yeah.
Yeah. My only other prediction for this match, sorry to jump in.
Absolutely.
My only other prediction is if the Young Bucks win, then either Jericho or MJF is going to bleed.
Ooh.
I see blood in this match.
Jericho, I think. Jericho.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Don't know why I can picture him bleeding.
Yeah, it's the hair, I think. The longer hair.
Yeah.
Like the whole Ric Flair, even though he's not as blonde as Rick, but I think
Did he bleed against
Cassidy? No.
Or was it Cody?
It was Cody, I think.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But I think that Jericho or MJF will bleed in this match just because of what they did to Papa Buck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you're spot on. Actually, I didn't think about that. Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
If the Young Bucks were to lose, just fancy booking in my head, I would then like to see them go to Kenny's side, be more with Kenny. That probably doesn't make sense for the story, but
push them a little bit more heelish.
Yeah, I want Bullet Club.
That's what everyone has wanted that since like 2013.
Yeah.
Like, just give us Bullet Club in every promotion. As soon as someone signs somewhere, it's like, okay, then these two are in the Bullet Club. Let's put them together.
Just bring Adam home. Just
Oh,
bring Finn home
don't stop it.
and make Tamatonga cry.
Don't make me sad.
Tamatonga's sad, but for a completely different reason.
Well,
But we
yeah.
move on
Poor old bad luck Farley.
to poor Jeff Jarrett.
Okay.
We move on to our main event. AEW World Champion Kenny Omega faces Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match. Wow. Have you watched the exploding barbed wire death match before?
So I've seen clips
Mm-hmm.
from CZW,
Yeah.
and I've seen clips from I'm not sure what Japanese promotion it was.
Mm.
It wasn't my favorite thing in
Yeah.
the world. Like, it does look a little bit cheap.
Yeah.
But if there's two guys that can pull it off against each other, it's Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley.
Yeah. That's it. You know, particularly Moxley
Oh.
won't half-arse it. He wants this to be brutal.
Mm.
Like, I can't imagine how an exploding barbed wire death match can be good to watch in terms of wrestling.
No, I don't think
But
anything with the word exploding in it,
yeah,
because that relies on some form of pyrotechnic, which relies on somebody pressing a button at the
when
right
Edge comes to the
time.
side.
Yeah. But it's like, carry on, sorry.
I was just saying, I can't imagine how on earth this match would be good, but it's got Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley in
Yeah.
it, so it will be. It's just a matter of how we get there. I imagine like this sort of match, it's like a Mick Foley and Terry Funk. It's two men brawling around, falling into barbed wire,
Yeah.
bleeding and exploding. I have no idea how this ends well. I mean, Kenny's winning because Kenny is just winning.
Yeah, I can kind of see the end spot as well in my head. I can just see him on top of something very tall,
Yeah.
standing over something with a lot of barbed wire and explosives
Oh
in it,
yeah.
and hitting a one-winged angel into
Yeah.
it. Like, everything goes off, and the only person left standing is Kenny with his arm raised.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
just the spot I can see. It's the only thing they can do here, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy how Omega and Moxley has become almost one of the biggest feuds in AEW history. Like, they've wrestled three. Well, this will be the third big match. Imagine saying that 2 years ago in 2019, Dean Ambrose and Kenny Omega stealing the show, being the top. But yeah, no, it's incredible.
It's been really long term as well, because from Moxley's first night when he DDT'd Kenny onto the poker chips.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so good.
First night, and now we're getting an exploding barbed wire death match between them. Whether it was meant to be this long term, I don't know, but props to them.
At the end of the day, it's two top guys. Like, you can see how they would be linked together just by the fact that they're going to be near the top of the card forever.
Yeah.
We expect to see Moxley to go away for a while, whether this be over to New Japan Strong, obviously having that United States title, or going home, obviously with his wife being pregnant. But where would you like to see Moxley go after this? What would you like to see him do?
I think definitely if he's going away from AEW TV, keep him away for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
Keep him away. Like, almost let people forget about him. And obviously people aren't going to forget about him, but let the casual fan who watches every week but doesn't really follow along online or read dirt sheets or anything, just let them forget about him.
Yeah.
Let him go away for 6 months. Let him have his time with Renee. Let him have his time in New Japan, defending the United States title. 6 months later, bring him back.
Yeah.
Hopefully with bigger crowds in 6 months' time, and you'll get, if not a bigger pop than when he first debuted.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who I'd want to see him feud with now. Like, I don't know who's left off the top of my head who I'd want to see. But he did mention in an interview, I believe it was with Meltzer, he wanted like a real tag run, like a really good tag
Oh,
run. He wanted it with Brody Lee,
um,
which obviously won't be happening. But
yeah.
I don't know who I could see him tagging with. I suppose that he tagged with Darby quite a bit.
Yeah, but Darby's.
Miro.
Do you know what? Revenge of the WWE. Have him team with Pac.
Oh,
Have it.
make it
Bring
a death
together-
square,
I was literally going to say bring together Death Square.
death rectangle.
That'd
Yeah, I
be
mean, he'd be a great addition to the tag division, and obviously, if he's not going to be world champion, you need to keep him occupied because at the end of the day, he's a star that demands a story.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
you need him on your card. You just do. If you've
Yeah.
got him in your company, he needs to be on the card. For Kenny, where does he go next in terms of challenges?
It's hard, isn't it? Because
It is.
everyone's kind of taken up.
Yeah, I suppose we'll see coming out of Revolution where we go.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because obviously Darby's TNT champ. He's going to be TNT champ coming out of it, and they're going to have a challenger for the TNT championship coming out of this from the ladder match.
Yeah.
Kenny's going to probably come out of this as AEW champion,
Yeah.
but there's no real name that pops out if Moxley goes away.
Yeah. Obviously, there's Hangman Page, but it's too soon. He's currently in the Dark Order Matt Hardy thing, and Kenny shouldn't be losing the title yet, and Hangman needs to beat him.
Again, this could be the TBA thing that's getting us thinking that they're going to be in the ladder match, the Hall of Fame talent.
Hmm.
The TBA for the Hall of Fame talent could not be linked. The Hall of Fame talent could just be somebody that comes out that night, introduced at the end of the night as, look, everyone, here's David Arquette.
The next AEW World Champion.
or look, everyone, here's Kota Ibushi.
Oh, don't stop it. No. No.
No, it won't happen. I'm sorry. But
But
it is.
Jeff Jarrett comes for revenge.
Oh, my word. Abyss.
Joseph Fox.
Comes out in his lawyer gimmick.
Yeah, for me, obviously, as you mentioned, there aren't any particular natural, like, first glance, oh, it's got to be them next. They're next in line. For me, this is a bit of a weird one. Christopher Daniels.
Oh.
He hasn't had much of a story going.
Explain.
So he hasn't had much of a story going. I would love to see, like we saw, like with Dustin, like this is my last chance. He's 50 now. Is Christopher Daniels?
Is he?
He's
Wow.
50 because they made a big deal out of it on BTE when it happened. Yeah. One last chance at the top. That's what I want to see. This is my chance. This is the last chance I'm going to get. Like kind of like what we saw with Tommy Dreamer, but obviously it's Christopher Daniels, so match quality will be higher. Yeah, and I don't think like I've never heard of it. At least I know that Kenny and Daniels are friends. I can't think if they've ever had a match or if they've had like a match that's like a standout. But them two together deserve a match like that.
Nothing springs to mind thinking about it. Like,
yeah,
nothing really. When you say Kenny and Daniels, it's like no match comes to mind, which is weird for Kenny Omega.
Exactly. But yeah, I just think like Kenny brutalizing someone who is looking for that last shot. You know what I mean? I think that would be a nice story for Daniels. Because he is more of a backstage guy now. He's talent relations. So like he gets people in. He not sorts contracts per se, but he helps with contract stuff. If he's looking towards going out, I think that's a good way to start.
Definitely. It's a way to go out on top, even if he doesn't win.
Yeah.
Say, I went out challenging for a world championship. It's like a good way to end what is an incredible career.
Against Kenny Omega.
Against Kenny Omega, exactly. I'm just scrolling down the roster now,
Mhm.
trying to put some pieces together. What do you think of if things don't go their way in the tag team match, or the ladder match? What about Death Triangle coming together, take on Kenny Omega, and pushing Pentagon?
See, I was going to say Pac because he's had
Really?
great matches with Kenny so far in Dynamite,
That's
and it's a bit of a feud there.
that's why I didn't say Pac, because I
Mm.
think we've already seen it a little bit.
I'll be honest. Give me all three of them. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Why not?
Gauntlet match.
Honestly, any of those men against Kenny. Obviously, Phoenix and Kenny recently had a match, so that's unlikely. But yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Yeah, Pentagon makes sense. He beat Pentagon at All In, which is obviously the spiritual start of AEW. They haven't really touched each other since.
No.
And he's beaten the other two members of Death Triangle. So yeah, storyline that does make sense.
That's kind of because I am scrolling down now. It's like Cody can't challenge for the world title. Darby is the TNT champion.
Kenny versus Cody.
Eddie Kingston.
It's not the right character.
No.
Not for Kenny.
I mean,
Eddie Kingston would be a nice next
Jake
TNT.
Hager.
Now we're talking.
Lance Archer, depending on how the ladder match goes.
Lance Archer would be good, but again, I don't want him to be the Gnarly Man again.
No. MJF is in the tag division, so it's
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq, yeah. I mean, if he does table spots like he did and then disappears out of ambulances,
If he ever reappears.
If he ever reappears in an ambulance ever again. But literally scrolling down, it's just Pentagon for me, and I'm probably just saying that because I'm a big Pentagon fan. But
yeah,
I think a lot's going to ride on who the Hall of Fame talent is.
Yeah, that'll be big. I don't think they'll be the near the world title, just because I think there's a bit of a worry about putting them near the world titles. People like Goldberg and just Goldberg really have put that fear in people.
Again, it's depending on who it is, because there's going to be somebody. I know I keep saying it, but if it is Ibushi, it won't be. But if it is, he's going to be at the top of the card. People are going to want him in the main event. So
if it's Ibushi, he needs to wrestle Kenny, or he needs to have something with Kenny. They're too linked to ignore each other. They can't.
But it's not going to be Ibushi. It's going to be
Rob Van Dam. You're making me dream.
It's going to be Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, and he's not going to go anywhere near Kenny.
No, he might get a TNT title match and
lose. We might see Rob Van Dam and Matt Sydal team because they both love Mary Jane. Yes. Overall, though, looking at the card, what match stands out for you as a potential match of the night?
So, I don't think, and I know it's Omega and Moxley, but I don't think they're going to be match of the night because of the stipulation.
Yeah, I think it hinders more than it helps. As much as it's a nice full stop on a feud.
I think that the ladder match has potential because of the guys in it.
Definitely.
But I think the match that people are going to come out of Revolution thinking that was match of the night is Young Bucks and Chris Jericho and MJF.
Yeah. As much as I know that is the case, I'm looking at Hangman Page and Matt Hardy and thinking, Matt Hardy can't go as well anymore as he used to. I know. It is.
And there's gonna be a lot of shenanigans in that match.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of a private party coming out to help Hardy, Dark Order intercepting that. There's gonna be a lot of that. I think it's gonna muddle it a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. It's more of a storyline match than it is a quality match.
Yeah.
This whole card really, it doesn't scream big star ratings, you know what I mean? It screams more storyline progression. And that's fine by me. I'm more than happy with story over substance in the ring. But I mean the next Omega match.
If there's one thing that AEW does get criticised for, and Lewis said this on the podcast in the week, it's that there's a lot of matches that you feel like they're just put together for spots. So there's a lot of matches like people like you and me where we think, but what if Kenny had a match with Rey Fenix? Then they could do some massive flip.
Yeah.
And it's like a pay-per-view where story's the main thing is a big step forward for AEW, I think. Especially for people like Lewis, who isn't as invested in spot-driven matches.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it's big, but we'll have to see. I'm really interested to see this card. Again, I've been dying for some AEW pay-per-views. But yeah, that's all we have time for this week. Check out our coverage of AEW Revolution. We'll be all over it. We'll be reporting on the results and probably discussing it afterwards on our thoughts on what happened. Links are in the description for our Twitters and the website. And thank you for listening.